Marco Moreno here, Christian Garcia, Jay Lopez. How's it going, everybody? So, first of all, are we even live? Can anybody of you check? We're live?
Yes, we are live.
Yep.
Hermano?
Yeah, on Facebook.
Facebook? YouTube?
Facebook, and let me check.
We are live.
Awesome. So,
I don't know about YouTube.
you guys, the idea.
Jeez.
What? Is Jason there?
No, he didn't show. No show.
No show. Cool. So we're here with Jay and Christian to review a little bit the craziness that was 2020, right? And I guess I'm gonna put this question out there first for any of you guys. Feel free to answer. What is your take on 2020? What is your assessment? The goods and the bads. What maybe are some of the main lessons that you learned from 2020? Go.
Christian, go ahead.
Man,
I'm talking Christian personal level and also Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu personal, everything goes.
doing Jiu-Jitsu solo for me was one of the biggest things, man. You know, you like the amount of time that I had practicing Jiu-Jitsu. I never did so much solo drills in my life. Before I like always need a partner to practice, right? Because you need the feeling of another person trying to give you a challenge, right? Try to feel where their weight distribution and what they're doing with their body, kind of.
Okay.
And now doing it by yourself is something I lost my partner, like my physical partner, like when I'm doing the solo drills, I'm like, wait, where is it? And it's gone. But man, we mastered it. Doing all the quarantine when we were filming the videos for the Zoom for the students that were not able to show up to the class. They were doing jiu-jitsu from home, right?
Jay, what is your take on 2020? What did you learn? Main lessons? Christian is saying his main thing is learning to do jiu-jitsu solo.
Yes, I agree. I think that at first it seemed like a big negative, but then actually, like whenever we started to kind of adapt to the way what we were given as far as training in house and setting up the Zoom and doing, like Christian said, doing tons of solo reps, it started to become more of an opportunity to learn a little bit more and to adapt your teaching skills to the times that we were in at that time. Because if I remember correctly, we stopped, the school closed March the 15th, March 20th.
March, yeah.
Somewhere in that region.
Somewhere there, yeah.
And we didn't start really doing the Zoom full force until a few weeks later. And it was very hard because you were so used to having a three-dimensional angle adjust as an instructor with students live. You know, every angle they could see, and now they're only seeing one side of you, so you had to really adjust your angle management, really emphasizing the part of the body that you're talking about during that slice, whether it be the hand, the foot, the leg, the arm, the grip.
You guys,
and it gave us more of an opportunity.
At the beginning of the year, do you ever had the plans for what 2020 was gonna be, and of course, how do you face the fact that this year was not gonna be the way you planned?
Christian?
Man, my biggest thing was I was so excited that I was gonna get certified under Grace Academy, right? Remember we were talking, oh, well, I was supposed to fly to Torrance, California, and do the live evaluation and all that stuff. Man, I was super excited, but it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. You know, that's something new that I never did before. Doing an evaluation through Zoom. That was something new for me, and man, we adapt to it. Like when we were we spent like almost 5 6 hours just talking, and I was just boring, like not boring, but staring at the computer for a long time, watching dinner and him talking about all the philosophy of jiu-jitsu. It was amazing. It was a good experience.
Okay. At the beginning, pre-lockdown, you had probably like some goals, some idea of what 2020 was gonna be, and of course, that changed, right? How do you take that? Um,
I mean, just like everybody in the jiu-jitsu community, we had to adapt and we had to overcome. Obviously, our given our given environment required us to be within close proximity and getting in each other's personal space. But then when all that ceased, my goals in that realm kind of shifted more towards I need to be more of a better instructor given the circumstances that we're living in. So my goals switched from being a better practitioner to more precise and more accurate instructor.
mhm. You guys, I remember the first time I heard the word coronavirus was Christian came one day. We're having class normal. This is in uh, maybe maybe late February, and he's like, "Coronavirus, man, coronavirus is gonna be." It's like, "Get out of here, Christian! Like, that's a hoax." Because they always have a the new thing that is gonna be a pandemic. Like, remember they had the H1, the bird flu, they had the bovine flu, and then the one that was going on in Africa, remember, and
Ebola.
Ebola, right? And I was super skeptical about everything, and then I was like, nah, get out of here. And then these things start getting bigger and bigger, right? And I remember that where states were going on lockdown, right? And but before the lockdown, even students stop coming. Do you remember that week before we actually had to close? Like kids class start being super low attendance, and the adults class too low attendance. And then I think that's when the lockdown came,
I remember
right?
pulling in the parking lot of the academy, and there was a lot of empty parking space, so I could park anywhere I wanted. And I didn't see no many cars in the streets, no many people in the street, and I was not scared, but I was like, "What's going on?" Like, it looked like a movie scene. It felt like we were in a movie or something,
Yes, yes, it
like
was
a horror
surreal.
film.
It was
It
surreal
was
because
super.
that Monday everything was closed. Everything was closed. The school we had to close, and yeah, because we closed a Saturday, right? We closed a Saturday, and remember we said, and everybody thought, oh, it's just gonna be 2 weeks. Just give the
2 weeks.
just give the hospitals time for preparation, and
At the end of the
then
week, we'll reevaluate.
we'll reevaluate. It went for like about 2 months here in Virginia. But man, this is a funny story. Jay, you wanna tell them about your motorcycle?
About Oh, so it's piggybacking off of Christian when he's to the empty lot and there's parking spots all over the place. Not a soul, not too many people are in the plaza. Maybe one or two people every now and then. It's most of the people. It's us at the school getting ready to shoot a live video or whatnot. So I ride my motorcycle into the academy and I park my motorcycle on the near spot across the street, right across the street from the school. If you've ever been to the Jiu-Jitsu academy, the parking spots are like right across the street from the school. And I try to get either my car, and in this case my motorcycle, parked as close as I can to the school so I can keep an eye on it. So we're getting ready to shoot a Zoom video, and I remember Mr. Marco looks over and goes, "What's that lady doing?" And I was like, "What lady?" And I look over and I see them like kind of just standing over examining something. And then as I get closer, I notice that my motorcycle is not there. And as I look down, my motorcycle is tipped over on its side and they almost kind of ran over it a little bit. So what happened was, long story short, the lady across from my spot was backing out and she didn't see my motorcycle. She hit it, knocked it over, and kind of backed over it. And $3,000 worth of damage for the fairings, the mirrors, the gear shift, the kickstand. And it took a while for me to get parts because obviously Italy was closed down.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, but it was.
So it took a while for me to get parts. So my motorcycle sat in Winchester for the better part of 5 months until around I guess August.
But it was so.
And even then, when I got it back, there were still some things left on it that had to get done.
It was so bizarre because there was nobody in the parking lot, and you parked before the lockdown when the cars were going and coming, and nothing happened. And then when the parking lot was empty, the only lady who was there back up and hit your motorcycle, man.
Right. And in the end, the lesson learned is that given the situation we were in at the time, I wasn't riding it. I wasn't on the highway. She didn't hit me. I was okay. It was just material damage to the motorcycle. Was I a little upset? Yeah, but nobody was hurt. She was apologetic. She gave me all her information. So the lesson learned is there could be a lot more trying things that I could be worrying about versus my motorcycle parts, so it wasn't a bad situation in terms of nobody getting hurt, and they took full responsibility for it. So I was happy with the outcome. And again, the positive situation is we're in this quarantine, this lockdown. I could be thinking about other things versus my damaged motorcycle or my damaged material goods. So that was a lesson we talked about with the kids too. Whenever the kids started coming back to the school, they'd always ask me, "Where's your motorcycle? Is it still crashed?" And I'd have to give them the story.
Speaking of adaptation, I remember saying, "Okay, we're in lockdown, but let's find a way to stay connected to the students." And the first 2 weeks, we start doing live Facebook. Remember? And we were teaching
I do remember
Jiu-Jitsu, and then we were doing techniques. And then we were doing solo drills that everybody can practice at home, right? And somebody was mentioning this thing called Zoom, right? I get Zoom. People is like, I'm teaching my friend Dante. He was like, I'm gonna start teaching in Zoom, and then I start looking into what is Zoom, right? And then we found this, and then we moved the classes to Zoom, right? Because the idea was to stay connected to the students when they were at home. And that adaptation took, it was a change from like having a full classroom of students to like teach in front of a screen, right? And I'm imagining it would have being very challenging for the students also at their houses because they had to find a partner, they grab their significant others. But what is amazing to me is that when there is love and willingness to learn, there is a way, right? Like we never imagined teaching virtually through Zoom. So like you are saying, almost like sometimes these things that happen, it's good. It's like you get put in a position that either you have to figure out. So and that's good because it keeps you on your toes, right? It's kind of like challenge you in a way. Like every challenge is a
It's
positive
almost
way.
like a jiu-jitsu philosophy type of mindset. Just like if something's not working right or something unpredicted happens, somebody takes the mount and you weren't able to defend them taking the mount, then you reset and now you learn how to either escape the mount or prevent them from advancing in their position. You know what I mean? So it's almost like a jiu-jitsu philosophy mindset. If I get mounted, all right, I'm not going to panic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adapt and I'm going to try to figure out how to escape out of this mount.
Sang, how's it going? Sam Kim says, humility goes a long way. Jeremy, Jay, this is for you. Sang is watching.
Yes, I
How's it going,
agree.
Sang?
I agree 100%, man. Always thinking about somebody else's needs before your own. Not only in times of calm and in peace, but in times of turmoil. You know, like when we're this whole virus thing, the last thing people need to do is attack each other. We need to help each other and be humble, and it's hard sometimes. You know, like we're human. Sometimes we get impatient and we want to be first, and maybe we're late and we want to speed off and get in front of people or get upset at people. But the right thing to do is to be humble and be like, maybe they're going through something that I don't understand, and it'd probably be best for me just to allow them to move through life without me creating a barrier in front of them. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Says, great you were not on the MC. You guys
On the
are
motorcycle, I agree.
motorcycle.
Nobody was injured.
I thought you guys were gonna start talking with your military terms.
Like all of our acronyms and
acronyms. Have you heard Christian when they talk like Jason, Jay, and John O'Sullivan and Erica, like the TPP, whatever.
John O'Sullivan's the king of acronyms.
Really?
He's the king.
What would be a phrase with acronyms like?
Oh, J-Lo, you're gonna be SOL and your UFC if you don't get your MOSQ, things like that. He just goes off. It's a sentence full of acronyms.
Right. Sam Kim did a 100-minute workout before Christmas Eve. Bro, way to go, Sang. Awesome. I'm so happy that you are keeping up with your fitness. Right? Hey, we have a guest here coming. You guys want to know who?
Surprise us like a Christmas present.
Christmas present. Ready, set. Hey!
What?
Merry Christmas, everybody. How are we doing?
Jason. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So, Jason, how's it going? What are the plans? Getting ready for dinner, I guess.
Yes, I got my mom and my sister visiting from Texas, and we are getting ready to have dinner.
Jason, we're talking about 2020. What are the lessons that it gave you? We were talking about adaptation. We're talking about appreciation. What else we're talking about?
Our goals.
Prior
and now.
Yes, appreciating the things that we take for granted. What would you think were the main lessons for you this 2020?
Yeah, 100%. I think being able to adapt and overcome. Especially in the jiu-jitsu community, how much change we've gone through in just these few months. Going from nobody in the school, completely Zoom classes. So the ability to adapt and overcome, and always keep your eye on the future. I'm hearing an echoing. Is that something on my computer?
It might be, I think. I don't know. Sam Kim says Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
there's like there's some feedback.
I
Okay.
don't know. You guys have maybe the Facebook open or the Two Stripes? No, he didn't. He wasn't there yesterday. So no,
Like,
he missed.
that's what I'm saying.
He missed.
There's always next year.
Next year. Or maybe one. Hey, you guys, I wanna what?
What is that, Jay?
So you guys, people might not getting what we're doing right now, but I can explain.
Should you tell him, Mr. Marco? Go ahead and tell him.
Huh?
Like you talking about last night?
Yes. Should we tell them about the Two Stripes? So
Yes,
what
he
happens
needs
is
to know.
that
Mr. Jason needs to know.
so I was the entire year I was very skeptic, or I would say positive in a way, because I thought 2 weeks we're gonna be back to normal, right? And then okay, another month, okay, and then back to normal, and then in my head I was thinking like everything will be back, because remember they were talking about the curve, and then the curve is gonna go down, and then everything was gonna be okay, right? So I was thinking that at one point Master Helson will be able to come and give promotions, but so this entire year passed and you guys didn't get promoted, right? And you guys are there every day as instructors, and 1 year, one stripe is not. I don't think it's fair for the amount of time you guys been there, and the support, of course, teaching and practicing. One stripe per year is not fair. So yesterday I award, with the permission of Master Helson, I award 2 stripes to Jay and 2 stripes for Christian on their brown belts. So congratulations, guys, for that. But Jason was supposed to get it too, but he wasn't there. So Jason, I'm sorry. No stripes for you.
Next year, Jason.
Try to make sure you show up.
I'll put it in my Christmas list.
Cheryl is saying congrats on your stripes. Christian.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Cheryl, also
Thank you,
Jay and Jason too. There you go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Cheryl.
You guys, did you fear at the beginning of the lockdown? Because I was a couple of nights, I was in my bed thinking that this thing, the way they were talking, and if they lock down, it must be like a virus. You know, at the beginning it looked like it was gonna be this thing like almost like the Spanish flu where millions of people die, right? And they were saying anybody could die, right? At the beginning, anybody could die. And I was like, man, if I get this thing, I can die. And I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? Do you guys felt that anxiety? And how did you deal with that?
Yeah, I think everybody, when they first heard of it, your brain jumps to the worst case scenario. And I remember back in March, when we were first talking at my work about making everybody go home and doing complete telework. And Huron had just been at the school, and I remember coming up to you and telling you, like, Marco, this is bad. I think they're gonna cause people to shut down. And you said, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna be all right. And then you said I think you kept saying it was gonna be, maybe a month, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month. And I was telling you, I said, no, I think it's gonna be at least till July that we're gonna be shut down. And you're like, no, it's not gonna be that bad,
Yes, you were saying this is just the beginning, and I'm like, no, we're gonna be back in 2 weeks.
remember one of my coworkers at work had gotten sick, and I told you, I said, Marco, I'm not going to be at the school for a couple of weeks. I just want to be on the safe side. I don't want to be around the kids. I don't want to risk anything. And so that was kind of my initial thought was, how do I protect the school? How do I protect the other instructors, the kids, everybody there? And then once we we quit letting the students come, and it was just us instructors. And then we kind of considered ourselves a family. We said, well, as long as we kind of stay around each other, we'll be okay. We'll as we're a family. And yeah, I mean, I think just the thought of, okay, at some point this is going to get better. At some point this is going to go away is kind of what we've all been striving for. And then when they start letting students come back into school, I remember thinking, okay, this is maybe the beginning of the end. Like we can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh yes. So
One
we
thing
that
I still find kind of strange. It's a lot of people start hoarding toilet paper. Remember?
yes, people.
You were going, you usually go to the store, and you will see a lot the aisle empty, no toilet paper, no cleaning supplies and stuff.
What is that? That's because toilet paper is not gonna help. Like, what is the psychology behind hoarding toilet paper? Who knows?
I think it's just hoarding in general. I think it's just not necessarily the toilet paper. I think just in general, it doesn't have to be toilet paper exclusive. I think because the toilet paper, it went into like the meats were gone, and then it went into the baby wipes are gone, it went into all the cleaning supplies, it was gone. I believe it's the mentality of thinking I have to have everything just in case this is the end. If this is the end, at least I have a clean house and I have plenty of toilet paper to cleanse myself after I use the bathroom. I honestly believe it's not necessarily toilet paper exclusive.
But
It's just
you know how it
the
works.
mentality of wanting to have everything.
I was in a Walmart like that first month of lockdown, and a lot of people was gathering around a cart, and this guy was bringing new boxes of Lysol wipes, right, or Clorox wipes, and they were like reaching, and the guy was still in the boxes about to put him in the shelves, right? But people were like reaching, right? And I went like, what's going on there, right? Everybody was surrounding this guy and grabbing one. And I was looking, right? And I said, oh, Lysol's wipes, right? And I also reached my hand and got one. Like, give me one of those.
Well, that's what
and I
happens.
still have
is
them. I never used
scarcity.
them.
Yeah, the thought of scarcity causes scarcity. So if you go to there one time and they don't have toilet paper, you think, man, the next time I go there, I'm going to grab 2 rolls, or I'm going to grab 2 packages or 4 packages, because I don't want the next time I come for there not to be any. So the thought that there might not be something there caused people to bring more back than they really needed. And that's what caused the scarcity. When they told you that there was a shortage, everybody went out and bought some, which caused the shortage.
Yes.
And I think that was with everything, right? Because I remember early on, you would go to the grocery store and you couldn't find anything at the grocery store. It looked like that place had been looted. There was no meat. Canned goods were gone. Toilet paper, paper towels. It was crazy.
Another thing I never got was how come they allowed like tobacco, like the way they categorize essentials, right? Were their business that were, for example, let's say even McDonald's, right? This is a health crisis, and they keep like tobacco stores open, McDonald's open, but they close gyms and martial arts schools that help with the overall health, mental and physical too, right? I don't understand.
So,
one of the reasons that
a
I
lot of
think
times,
I
like, so-
deal with the whole crisis of the COVID was because I had jiu-jitsu. Not only I felt, like I said, I had fear at one point, but then I was like, okay, I cannot live in fear, you know. And I feel like I'm healthy. I take care of myself. I try to eat healthy because of jiu-jitsu. And then, like you're saying, the mindset of surviving, right? And that we are always in tough spots with a guy on top trying to choke us, and that creates you like a level of toughness. And it's like, I'm just gonna go out there and just live my
I
life, right? And then, but that was because jiu-jitsu gave me that, and other people can have it too, but the government doesn't see that, right? They rather have McDonald's open or the
Mr.
tobacco
Marco,
open.
I had that kind of the same mindset. I was, I'm healthy. I eat healthy. I exercise. Jiu-jitsu keep me that way. But then I found out the athletes were getting COVID. Like Roger Gracie got COVID, and remember we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, so it doesn't matter if you're healthy or not, you still can get it.
Yes, there was a point where you were like, oh, but you don't know anybody who had COVID. Remember? Do you know anybody who had COVID? And we were like, no, that's just somewhere over, somewhere else. And then we start seeing people who we relate, or, right? Henner got COVID at one point. And now I bet a lot of you guys know people who had COVID. And yes, you're right.
And the idea is that there's a massive amount of people walking around that had it and never knew they had it because they
Exactly.
didn't get tested, they didn't have any symptom, they had it and they didn't know they had it. You know, so if you don't know what you don't know type of attitude, you know, and for all we know, we could have had it. Who knows?
Right. Right.
You know, and going back to your point, Marco, about essential versus non-essential, I think we could all agree what essential is. If they said, "Hey, what do you think is essential?" We would say, you know, police, fire, EMS, hospitals. Those are essential jobs. But then, and even places like grocery stores and gas stations. But after a while, it started getting crazy because, like you said, the uh, tobacco
ABC
store was open,
liquor, smoke shop.
the ABCs were all open, the car wash was open, and I started thinking, at what point is a car wash essential? So it's almost as if they were saying, okay, these businesses are big enough that we want them to do well, and then these small businesses, like you know, barbershops and jujitsu places, well, we don't really care what happens. And you know, I think that was the most frustrating thing for us is like all the work that you put into the school, all the stuff that we can do is only so much if they're refusing to allow us to operate. You know, and I'm sure you probably already said this, but man, a huge shout out to every one of the students who stuck with us through everything. You know, allowing us to go through the Zoom stuff when we couldn't have students in the school that came back in and have been training with us, you know, with the social distancing and all the new protocols that we have in place. You know, these are people that understand, one, the value of jujitsu, but two, the value of a small business.
Yeah, I agree.
100%, man.
Big, like the students, and then like the parents that kept their kids coming to Zoom every day. You know, even when their kids were like, I don't want to go or whatever the case, because they're at home all day long, and their parents are like, let's log into Zoom. And then big shout out to them too, because they've actually been training and interacting with their kids more than they would if they're live in the school. You know.
Yes, it's awesome. The parents, how they care so much about their kids training, and you see them in Zoom, right? For whatever reason, they cannot bring their kids to the live classes, and then it's just amazing to see, for example, Owen and Owen's mom, they still train together, or Roger and his dad. He brought his dad to do jiu-jitsu and be his partner and train through Zoom, right? or coming to the in-house, like Cooper come with his dad now to the in-house class, and that's his partner, or Will, or Troy and his dad. So I think that was amazing to see, right? That the parents stepping up and supporting their kids. And they're also getting the benefit of jiu-jitsu because they're getting marked on their cars, and progressing and getting involved and getting the taste of what jiu-jitsu is about. Will Dorch and his dad. His dad is coming. He's doing sparring with his kid. I think that was a positive. Noel, what are you saying here? Noel is saying getting your dog's haircut is essential, but not your own hair. I think the dog grooming place was open, was essential. Like phase, remember there were phase one, phase two, phase three. I think they opened like in phase two. We're still closed, and the dog's hair grooming was open. That's
Their
crazy.
hair looked nicer than
Yeah,
the
not
owners.
having
Like the
access
owners walking
to a
with
barber
the
never bothered me.
hair nicely groomed.
Yes, it's crazy because we are, for the people who don't know where we are located like 3 doors from dogs grooming services. And every time we're there in class and you hear a big burst of happiness and screaming like, ah, and it's like, oh, they're picking up their dogs, you know. The crazy thing is like you don't hear that when they pick up their kids in jiu-jitsu. It's not the same level
I
on
think we talked
enthusiasm.
about this. Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, should we talk about MMA a little
Do
bit,
it.
right? Or any
You
final
know,
words?
I hate to be the guy that comes in,
What?
spends only a few minutes with you, then takes off, but I do have to get back to work here and feed my family. Again, I want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you to all the students that have come and continue to come.
Jay, put that down, please. No. As a matter of fact, sorry, Jason, keep it going.
No, I just, as we've always said, that, iron sharpens iron. And, even though we haven't been able to train as much as we like, I feel like we've still been able to grow in our jiu-jitsu journey. And the benefit that we have, that you've gone online, that you've done the Zoom. I've talked to people that have trained at other schools, and they said, I haven't done anything in over a year. I haven't trained at all in over a year. And I just think of how lucky we are to have, one, the great school, the great community, that you were able to identify. The Zoom is even as an option. I remember when you mentioned Zoom, I said, Marco, that's never going to work. That nobody's gonna do Zoom. Nobody's gonna. You have to feel somebody else in jiu-jitsu. There's so much that involves, resistance and somebody else trying to choke you to understand how to defend a choke. And you're like, that's what we have. We have to go with what we have.
And we did it before the Gracie Academy, like months before Gracie Academy started doing the Zoom.
And I remember when they came out with their advice on how to run Zoom, we're like, we already figured that out.
We already know how to teach it.
We already know that. We already had the games that we could play with the kids. We already knew so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. Sang says Merry Christmas. Stay safe.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate
Merry
it.
Christmas, Jason.
Appreciate Jason.
Bye. We'll see you guys. 2021, best year ever for everybody.
Here we go. Yes. Take care, bro. Hi to the family. Merry Christmas. Okay. So now, anybody, maybe, if you are watching and want to join the conversation, let me know. I'll send you the link. Now, you guys, who do you think was the fighter of the year? MMA.
Christian, go ahead.
Khabib.
Khabib.
Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Okay.
It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue against Khabib. It's just hard. I mean, if you were to ask me the greatest of all time, it's a different argument. But to say who was the best fighter in 2020, it's hard to argue against Khabib.
So what happened is that, and I think that the whole drama behind, because Khabib was supposed to fight Tony Ferguson for years, right? And then every time something happened, Tony will hurt his foot. Remember that one time, and everybody was just waiting for that fight. And then the COVID hit. Oh, and then the UFC. That was crazy how they start putting fights, right? I think it was the first sports organization that started putting some shows together. But Khabib couldn't do it, and then they said the Tony versus Gaethje fight, right? And Gaethje just dominated Tony Ferguson, man. That was probably one of the worst beating, because the thing is, like, Tony Ferguson is so tough that he wasn't going down after all those punches. He punched Gaethje one time with an uppercut, but after that it was full domination by Gaethje. So now everybody's like, we don't want to see Tony Ferguson Khabib anymore. We think that Gaethje can beat Khabib, right? And that fight was set up later in the year. And then the whole drama because Khabib's dad died, right? Who was his coach for most of his career, or one of his coaches, one of Khabib's coaches, his dad. So that added another element of like, man, he's doing this for his dad, and then the domination, like there was not even a competition.
And I think
like
his dad wanted him to retire Invicted. He wants Khabib to retire as a champion. So he was supposed to go 30-0, but then after his dad passed away, he said, "I think I'm just gonna retire now." But he still has the contract with the UFC, right? And last fight, he told Dana White, "You know what? This is the last fight," and then he told everybody.
yeah, so Khabib beat Gaethje in a dominant fashion with that nice triangle mount, armbar, and then triangle from the guard. So, and now everybody's talking about him being the best, but then he retired. So, are we gonna see him back? What do you think? He said he promised his mom he was not gonna fight again. So, what do you think?
I mean, what more? I just think, what more does he have to prove? And then the other side, I mean, a competitive spirit. Look no further than Christian and you, Mr. Marco. You guys, you have the competitive spirit, and it's hard sometimes just to get rid of that. You know, you can't just get rid of that. What kind of limits you is maybe life, maybe your body, but you still have that competitive spirit. The only thing that slows people down is maybe their body, their health concerns, or they have family issues, but they always have that competitive spirit. So I think he wants to do it, but I think that he's made promises with his family, his mom. So that side of him will probably hold him back from coming back. But he'll always have that competitive spirit.
I agree. So I agree that this was Khabib's year. Sang is leaving. Sang, I think he was following us this whole time.
See you, Sang. Merry Christmas.
Jay puts it. God bless. Thank you, Sang.
Cheryl, Merry Christmas.
Take care. Say hi to Cheryl. And also the revelation, I think, even though he's been fighting and winning, has been Oliveira by beating Ferguson too, right? This has been the worst year for Tony Ferguson, I think, from being like the one who was gonna beat Khabib and be the next champion to almost now everybody's asking him to retire now. What do you think about Tony Ferguson, you guys? Is he gonna be able to come back, bounce back? Lost 2 fights, 2 important fights.
Yeah, I think so. I think if he decides to come back, he's going to have to take a few steps down and to prove that he's worthy of a number one contender for the title, because look no further at the top. I mean, with Khabib gone, that class almost is wide open now. Emerging like Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, those guys are reemerging as, okay, with Khabib gone, they're kind of like the people they're talking about now. So if those are the people, and Tony's proven that he can beat, the top contenders, sans Khabib, or I'm sorry, not Khabib, they didn't fight, but like sans somebody who's a worthy opponent. I think either it'll be one of two things. He'll retire, or he'll make a really good comeback, and if not, become a top contender again, maybe even the champion. Just depends.
What do you think, Christian? Tony Ferguson, is he gonna be able to bounce back after two hard losses, like being almost knocked out and now almost being submitted to by Oliveira?
He has to make a comeback. It's something that every fighter has. Sometimes they have like a, what do you call it, a bad moment, like
Bad streak.
sometimes bad luck, or yes. And when they come back stronger. They go back and train. They fix all their little mistakes, and when they come back, they shine.
Cool.
So,
Um,
but also,
Yeah, I agree.
I think
I agree.
Conor McGregor is making a comeback too, right?
Conor McGregor
So
is
that
fighting next year with Poirier. I think one of the earlier cards, maybe February.
February,
And then I think the winner should fight Charles Oliveira.
right?
Right? I think Oliveira has put himself in the position of fighting for the championship. So I would like to see Oliveira with either of two guys, the winner of McGregor Poirier. Well, how do you see a fight? Let's say McGregor wins because he beat Poirier already one time. So let's say McGregor beats Poirier. How do you see the fight, um, McGregor Oliveira?
It's gonna
Man,
be an interesting fight. Yeah, they both had really good strike, but I think Oliveira has the better ground, right?
Jiu-Jitsu.
grappling.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think Oliveira, if it goes just like any other fight with Conor McGregor, if it goes late into the fight, he typically doesn't do well when it goes past the second round.
True.
First round, maybe beginning of the second round, he's amazing. His timing's on, his striking is dead on. But if it goes past the second round, or he gets taken down, I feel like his cardio it continues to be an issue against top ranked opponents, or when fights go later into the rounds. You know, look at his boxing match. I mean, that's not even grappling, and like he went later into the rounds, and he couldn't keep up with the stamina of a seasoned trained boxer, Floyd Mayweather
Right.
Jr.
Yeah. Well, Mayweather was more efficient too the entire time. So yeah, it's very interesting to see. Glad to see this year the comeback of Brian Ortega. He
Brian
came
Ortega
back
is
Oh
really
yeah,
after
strong.
that beating to the hands of Max
Max
Holloway,
Holloway.
which broke his nose, broke his hand, had to go through surgeries, and a long recovery. And then he was about to fight Zombie and broke his knee. Remember, they canceled that fight, and then they finally he got to come back against Zombie this year, and it was nice to see him come back because he looked incredible, and I think he's gonna fight for the title this coming year. So I'm personally looking forward to see Brian Ortega fight for the title and becoming the champion. We'll see what happens
I
there.
agree. I agree 100%. A lot of people sold him out after he lost to Max Holloway. A lot of people said, "Oh, he's done. That was it." He's fighting somebody at the top of their game. And then a lot of people, when he fought the Korean Zombie, are like, "Oh, the Korean Zombie is gonna dominate him," but it was just the opposite. It was an incredible showing. I mean, that elbow was just. I mean, who would have thought that elbow comes out of nowhere?
Bro,
You know,
we were
but he
doing
looked really good.
Jay, we were doing fight simulation. You know, when is grappling. It's grappling, guys. We have a class where we
I
do
know where it's
jiu-jitsu,
going.
but we put the gloves to punch to test the punches. So we were doing the fight simulation, and Christian started throwing the elbow that Ortega, and then
Granted,
Brandon also start throwing
it
elbows.
was
I was like, guys, stop with the elbows,
it was
because you
we were
saw
far
Brian
away.
Ortega throw that elbow, and then you start throwing those same elbows, man. That was a great elbow, right?
Oh, it's amazing.
We were just messing around, Marco. We were not doing it for real.
Okay.
I was just like messing with Brandon. He also knew that we were not doing that. We talked before that it was just a couple punches, engage, clinch, and the fight
Amazing
goes to the
elbow though.
ground.
Amazing elbow though. Brian Ortega, just incredible. Like,
That elbow was awesome.
just out of nowhere.
Yes.
Right, out of nowhere,
Like,
right? And I think he was practicing in the dressing room. Prior to the fight, he was practicing in the dressing
really?
room.
That's
He was
cool.
he did the 1-2, and then he'd come and he'd throw the back elbow. So he was practicing in the dressing room.
Do you guys see this year the knockout of? I think this is the knockout of the year, and maybe the knockout of the entire MMA history. The guy who kicked, his leg got grabbed, and he kicked with the other leg and knockout. Do you see that knockout?
I was at your house and we watched it live. Remember?
Oh yes, that show, that UFC.
Yeah.
Man, that was amazing. Christian, can you find, or Mr. J, can you find the name of that fighter?
Yes.
I'm gonna talk
Yes.
here with my
Or
bro
Christian
Dante.
Quiver.
Dante, how's it going, brother? Happy holidays. Wish you the best. Thank you, Dante. This year was challenging. Jumo back kick. Sweet. Oh, Jumo. That was his name? Mr. J,
Jumo.
Google Jumo. Dante,
Jumo.
I was remembering how you talk about Zoom to me first. That was the first time my friend Dante teach Jiu-Jitsu in Fairfax. And he's like, man, I'm going to start teaching Zoom. And I was like, how are you going to do it? And then he gave me the pointers of how to teach that class. And we were able to adapt and put the Zoom in our classes once the quarantine hit, lockdown. So that was, I think, the knockout of the year.
Joaquin Buckley.
That was his name.
Joaquin Buckley. Yes. Middleweight
Jiu-Jitsu
Joaquin
rules.
Buckley. Backspin kick after they grab his foot.
That was awesome.
Let me double check though. Let me double check.
And
Yeah,
the
but
best,
we saw it. I was at your house and we were sitting there talking, and then we look over and we see it, and then we're like, what? And then they showed the replay, and we're like, that's incredible. That just happened?
yeah. Who saw the fight of Joanna versus the Chinese
Yes.
Chinese girl, Wei Li Sang? Christian, did you go?
Man,
Did you watch that
brutal
fight?
Brutal. Yeah, great fight. Great fight. One of the greatest women's fights.
Bro, I think it was one of the best fights, period, not just women. That fight was amazing. They both gave their heart out, and both took damage, and Wei Li Sang won. And Joanna's head, man, do you remember?
Like, didn't she have like a forehead? Like,
She had a forehead
It was all swollen.
that's swollen. And what are you showing?
Oh yeah.
Yes, so she got punched in the forehead. And see that fight? That was amazing. That was this year,
Brutal,
right?
man.
Yeah, March.
Yes.
Oh, so that was probably like before the lockdown. Look at
I think
that.
there were still fans. If you look in Christian's video, there's still fans like in the background.
Right. Man, it's not the same without the fans, huh? She looked like Kitty. But you know what the if you can see the positive about the Christian, can you look the best knockout, the guy who jumped
PT.
back? What was the name, Jay?
Oh, the one that those backflips. What's his name?
Buckley.
Buckley.
Yes, Joaquin
Bro,
Buckley.
it looked like. Do you remember this '80s movie? I think it's Never
Buckley
Retreat,
knockout.
Never Surrender with Van Damme.
Yes,
When Van Damme does
yes,
the splits,
yes.
that
Oh
was
my
the
I got
same.
it.
gosh.
That was the same knockout. That was the same kick. There you go. Look, Jay got it. Jay got it. Look at that. No, this was even better. One more time, Jay. Look, the
Look, he
guy
grabs
grabs
his
the
foot.
foot
Boom.
and then he turns and it spins. Look, look,
It was
look.
over.
Grab the foot, boom, kick with the other one. When was this, Jay? Around, I'll say October. Or something.
October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Yeah,
best knockout
that
of
was
the year.
the best knockout of the year.
Best knockout, best fighter, fighter revelation Oliveira, Khabib retiring. Um, what else? Mackenzie Dern. It was close her last fight.
She won by decision, but it was close.
Yes. Jacare
Remember when
just lost.
they were
Jacare?
they were saying how they were gonna do the UFC, and they start posting pictures of Fight Island.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I saw how they prepare for everybody, for all the fighters. It's hard, man. Like they have to test and then stay in their rooms and until their fights come. Watching all day what they have to go through
Yes, they have
just
to
to get
establish.
there and perform. And there was nobody in there. And it's just the referee, the corners, and the fighter.
All right, Dante. Thank you, brother. Happy to see you. Happy holidays.
By Dante, happy Merry Christmas.
Bro, maybe we can get you here in the podcast one day. Talk about jiu-jitsu and stuff. Merry Christmas and see you soon. Yes, I think with no audience, you can hear the punches harder, right? It adds like another element of violence, I guess.
Yeah. There's like no background noise. There's no.
Exactly. Man, I was very sad to see Joel Romero getting released by the UFC, and another sad thing for me was to see Jacare losing with the last knockout he had.
Yeah, Jack
I'm a
won.
big Jacare fan, and to see him losing like that, and and Joel Romero, I'm also a fan of him, so they haven't had
Yeah,
a
I
good.
mean, Joel Romero. I think he signed with in Bellator.
Oh, okay. So we'll still see him. Man, the guy is like 40 something, right?
Yeah, he's older, but he's always in good
Oh,
shape. He's always in great shape.
another one that must have been his last fight is Anderson Silva.
Right.
Anderson
Last
got stopped by forgot. Was it Uriah Hall?
Israel Adesanya.
No, that was before. But he got knocked down, technical knockout, and then Dana White went to say that he wished he wouldn't have let him fight. So I think he's gonna release him, and we're probably seeing the last of Anderson Silva in the UFC. I still think he's the best, the GOAT. So we'll see what happens.
Uriah Hall.
Yeah, that's it. Was it Uriah Hall, Christian?
Yeah.
Uriah Hall.
Yeah. Respect Anderson. Great career. Awesome fighter. And this
Man, and he
2020.
fought in the early days when Pride. Remember Pride, hermano? He fought in the
Oh
open
yeah,
tournaments
yes.
back in the early days with Pride.
100%. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. And Adesanya, since you mentioned Adesanya, you guys like Adesanya?
Yeah, I like Alassane. The style bender. He got his
How did he do this
little.
year?
He did good. His best victory this year so far is over the Brazilian. I think his name is
Costa.
Castro.
Costa.
Costa.
Diego.
Paulo Costa.
Paulo
Yes.
Costa.
He KO.
Yes.
Yeah, but everybody.
That guy was mad. That guy was mad at him, man. The Brazil.
Because what he did at the end, like he just stay on top and did some.
Oh yeah, that was uncalled for. I think that's why I'm not a big Adesanya fan. In general, of cocky fighters or disrespectful fighters, I want to see more, and that's my thing. More martial
Yeah.
art, more respectful at it,
Right.
versus like the trash talking and the disrespectful gestures
Right.
like that, you know. So
Yeah,
I
that
think
but
what
that
happened was at the weigh-in or the face-off. I think Paulo Costa pulled out a white belt and he handed it to him.
yes,
And in return, Adesanya pushed him or something. There was some exchange. So I think the idea was, which is still wrong, you know, that well, he did it first. So that's my way of responding. But like you said, a real martial artist have to kind of rise above all that. And, you know, it's just competition. It's nothing personal. Just fight somebody for competition, for sport. And afterwards, you know, you shake each other's hand and congratulate each other, win or lose. And then, you know, I think a lot of times fighters lose that. Martial artists will lose that sometimes. They let the competition and the fame and the fortune, they let that kind of rise above what the real purpose of being a martial artist is: respect, you know, humility, things of that nature that will make martial arts truly good. You know, especially the jiu-jitsu community, of the way that we learn it and the way that we teach it to the kids. In other words, if I'm a teacher, I'm not going to teach something to the kids and then I'm going to turn around and behave a different way if I'm a professional athlete or just a person on the street in general. You know, that's hypocrisy.
100%.
So things like that, I'm with you on that. I like it. They should rise above the madness. If he does it to me, okay, I won't reciprocate it. I'll rise above it, and then that way, I'm serving the community. I'm serving the athletes, and I'm serving the fighters and everything in a very positive manner. And then when my legacy is being judged later on, they'll look back and see like, yeah, he didn't talk trash. He was a very humble champion. I think Khabib, in a sense, was very humble. There was a point where
Yeah, I like Khabib.
Conor McGregor was just leaning into him. Right, he was leaning into him, and Khabib wouldn't reciprocate any of that nonsense, you know. So
Yeah, well,
things
he
like
lost
that.
it. He lost it at the end of his fight, right?
Israel
oh yes, I forgot.
he took
I forgot.
it to the heart. That little joke the Costa did with the white belt. 'Cause then he went and trained with Andre Galbao and got his purple belt in like 6 months. Did you saw that?
Adesanya
I think
got
he'd been training with
purple
him.
belt.
He had been training with him, right?
Blue belt, and then in like 6
Oh.
or 8 months, I think he got his purple belt.
Yeah, I don't know how
Man.
long he's been training, but if Galbao gives you a purple belt, it's because you are purple belt level, I think.
That's what I was thinking too. I mean, yeah.
You guys, speaking of jiu-jitsu, let's talk about what are the highlights of this year jiu-jitsu. I don't think there were big tournaments. More like at the end, there were more the like the combat jiu-jitsu and more like super fights. Um, we saw a few Gordon Ryan fights. I still think he's the best nogi so far. Nobody has beaten him. He did a few super fights. So in terms of nogi, I
Yeah.
think he's still the king. And end up, oh, you know his dad died.
Yes.
Gordon and Nicky
Yeah. He
Ryan.
a few days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, his dad died, and I wonder they moved to Puerto Rico, right? What do you
Yes. So
think?
did John Danaher.
What do you think? Obviously, Puerto Rico is not um, I mean, New York and being like in the mecca of people coming to train with them, are they gonna lose some edge because of the move to Puerto
I
Rico?
think wherever John Danaher goes, I think he's gonna. If John Danaher would have stayed in New York, maybe a drop off. But John Danaher followed him over to Puerto Rico, so I don't see a drop off in his training in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna be just fine.
Yeah, the people is gonna go see them. They're gonna search for them, right? Like the other training
Right.
partners. Yeah, I think so. I think he's still gonna be dominating for a long time, even though
You
now
think that
we,
Gary Tonon transition to MMA
yeah, Gary
he
Tonin
couldn't finish, he
won.
couldn't finish the other guy. He dominated the fight. He won by decision, but he dominated definitely the fight. But he got his back and couldn't finish him. They were saying because of the MMA gloves.
Yeah, but he still looks dominant. I don't know why he's not in UFC. Did Kron fight this year? I
He
don't
did
think he.
one championship. I don't think he fight.
Did he fight Cub Swanson before the quarantine? That
I
was
think that
before,
was
right?
last year, right? Let me check. But that'll be
I,
cool.
I a lot of people are saying that they're trying to schedule, and it's just rumors, but they're trying to schedule a fight between Ryan Hall and him.
Oh, Ryan Hall and
Kron?
uh, Kron. Whoa, that's I'm gonna
Yeah, it's
that's
like rumor
good.
mill.
No, they fought Cap Swanson, Kron Gracie. They fought October 2019.
Oh, so last year, okay,
That was
yeah,
last year. So Kron
that's the
didn't
last time
fight this
Kron's
year.
fought. MMA.
But yes, and Ryan Hall, I don't think he fought this year either. But that would
I
be
think he was
great.
supposed to, but his opponent like got injured. I don't remember who he was supposed to fight, but he was supposed to fight, and his opponent withdrew because of injury.
I see. In terms of, there's this guy, Kaynan Duarte. He just beat Rodolfo Vieira, who's a legend in Jiu-Jitsu, in Nogi. And I think he's one of the names for sure too that we're gonna see. I think he's probably gonna be as the best challenge that Gordon Ryan can have. That'll be
That's
interesting
what a
to
lot of
watch
people are
this
saying. I
2020.
mean, he's dominated against all the Atos opponents. I mean,
Yeah,
he
he
beat
won.
Lucas Barbosa. You know,
Hmm.
he's like, and I think the only ones that are really that I've seen that are really successful, of course, is Duarte, and then the brothers, the Rotolo brothers. They're really good.
Yes, I saw the Rutolo. One of them, I still don't know the differentiate their names, but one of them won the combat jiu-jitsu with the buggy choke,
All right, yeah, right.
right? So man, those guys are just amazing to watch, and they're still young. So that'll be cool to see 2021 what other tournaments they're gonna win. But that's cool to see those young brothers racing to the top for sure. You
Is
guys,
anybody's watching right now? I think we have like 4 people watching.
we have 6 people watching. Are we still on Facebook? I got a message that we're not
We
in
still
Facebook
look.
anymore.
Yes.
Yes? You
Mhm.
guys, the thing I'm gonna miss about 2020 that when I heard this news, I was like, no, this couldn't be worse, was they closed expectations.
That was your favorite place to
Because it was my favorite place for breakfast, and sometimes even after school, like on Saturdays, we'll go there, right? We'll go to
I remember,
expectations.
yeah. That's Jalea's favorite place too. Her
That's
favorite place to
Julia's
have
favorite
breakfast.
too. Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of business at close, huh?
Sad, man. Very sad. I feel really bad for the employees. I feel bad for the owners of the small businesses. I
Yes.
mean, I can't even begin to feel what they feel. You know, all I can do is just like feel. I have no idea what they're feeling or what they've gone through. You know,
Yes,
and
of course. Restaurants. But they also adapt, man. Like the melt. next door. The lady was just doing like
And very
takeouts.
busy with DoorDash, Uber Eats. That those companies they were making money
Yeah,
during quarantine
DoorDash, Uber
because
Eats,
they were
Zoom.
delivering. They would
It's
just go
crazy
to the
how
door, the front door of their houses and leave their packages in there, and everything was paid off. So it was, yeah, like Marco said, it was good how they adapt to it.
it's crazy how sometimes crises sink some and others rise, right? Like others take the opportunity to, like Zoom, for example, right? Or this DoorDash, Uber Eats stuff that they were there, but they were in the great position to, in a way, take advantage of what happened by the nature of their business model. But yeah, for example, the mall is Dallas mall still open?
I don't know.
Yeah, but like when you go in there, a lot of the shops, a lot of the smaller shops are closed.
You know what I saw close? Ruby Tuesdays is closed in Lisbon.
Oh wow,
Yeah, the Ruby Tuesdays is closed, and
wow, man.
Michaels and furniture places. Yeah,
Man.
Blockbuster. Oh no, Blockbuster. That was
Blockbuster still being closed.
bro.
Blockbuster's closed.
Speaking
I
of
don't know if the pandemic had anything to.
speaking of
I think
Netflix
the
this
pandemic
year.
is not to blame on that one.
Yes, yes. They went bankrupt before everything. You guys saw any good movies in Netflix this year? Let me recommend you one
Man,
TV show that I don't watch too much Netflix. I never um, I watch some series here and there, but this one got me connected. I
Selena
remember when
Quintanilla.
Breaking Bad was going on, I saw Breaking Bad like a marathon, and a little bit of The Walking Dead in the past, Narcos, and this is my other one, the the Queen's Gambit. That's a good Netflix series this year. I think it's still there, so go ahead and watch it, guys. It's a very good one. Recommend.
is it better than We Are the Champions?
We Are the Champions. Oh yeah, yeah, yes. That's a good one too, you guys. If you can see, is it We Are the Champions or just Champions?
Yeah, I think just
We Are
all
the
you do in
Champions.
the search bar is type in champions and you'll see it.
Christian, have you seen that series in Netflix? We Are the Champions.
I've been watching The Mandalorian,
Oh, I
Star Wars.
see. I haven't been connected
They
to that.
they are supposed to make a Star Wars series with Darth Vader and like all the Jedi's, so it's gonna be good.
Bro, any of you saw the show with the tigers? The Tiger King, maybe?
No, I never get into that.
Bro, I saw everybody was talking
Sorry,
about it, right? I saw the first episode. I
I
was
told
like, I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna lose my time with this thing, man.
everybody's talking about it. I don't want to be there with like in the
That
same group.
was after lockdown, the first kind of show that everybody was talking about, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's part of 2020 history.
I mean, like everybody's in lockdown, right? So of course, after the series ended, all the memes started surfacing
Yeah.
about government officials saying, "Boss, the tiger season is over. What do we do now? Release the murder hornets."
Yes, that's
Keep
true.
people. The
How
murder
about
hornets was another thing for like a week or
man,
so.
another thing was also the Karens.
The what?
Which
The
one?
Karens. The
The
Karens, the ladies that
Karens.
were like,
Karens.
oh,
The Karens this year. That was this. This was the Karens 2020 year. You're right.
The year of the Karen.
The
Yeah.
year of the
the
Karen.
year of the
There
Karens.
were so many Karens videos, right?
Oh man, they surfaced. They just all of a sudden appeared, you know?
Yeah, man. And was they have the equal for a male? Is Karen
I think
is
it's a Kevin, right?
a Kevin? And how is Kevin? Because
It's
Karen
the same
is
as Karen, just a guy.
Karen complains to the manager, right? It's rude. It's Is racist maybe
She
even.
refuses to. She will tell you to wear a mask. If you're walking in public and not wearing a mask, you say, "I'm calling the cops on you. You're not wearing a mask.
Call
I
the
feel
cops.
unsafe.
Right,
I don't
right,
feel
right.
safe."
Jeez.
Bro, people who is, snitch on businesses, man. Come on, man. Right? Like
Yeah.
Everybody's
they're just trying to survive, man.
surviving.
Just trying to
And I
survive.
think that like when people are going, there's trauma or there's turmoil, like again, like there's this, of course the virus, they changed everybody's life, right? And different people react to it differently, absorb it and adapt. Other people's try to find people to blame every day, or they try to take out they have some internal trauma that they just kind of project, on people. That's so they're upset. So like, well, I'm gonna tell this guy to not walk his dog over here. Well, I'm gonna make sure this person wears his mask, and it makes them feel good. So
Bro,
things like that.
what happened with mask? Because remember at the beginning there was like, oh, mask is like, no, not really, nobody, it's not gonna do anything. Remember? I remember Fauci saying this. Like, mask is like, it's not gonna. And now mask is almost like
Mandatory.
mandatory, and
It was
you
before,
have
like
to.
they said, if you're experiencing any symptoms, you should wear it. Like if you're getting symptomatic, like if I have a headache and a fever, I should wear a mask before. And now it's like everybody
Even
have
if
a
you,
face covering.
right, yes, the most kind of like,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know if this is working, is when you had to put the mask at the entrance of the restaurant all the way to your table, and then at the table you can take off your mask, but those like
Yes.
that trajectory from from the door to your table, you had to wear the mask. Is, I don't know.
And I try to
It's
think
kind
of
of ridiculous.
I try to think of a rational reason why that's considered. The only thing I can think of, again, and I'm trying to play it, is that the serving staff is going to be exposed to more people than we are. So the idea is when the serving staff comes up, we put our masks on. When they leave, you can take it off. When they come up, put your mask on. When they leave, you can take it off. That way, they're exposed to what, 100 people, maybe 200 people, an hour or a day or whatever the case. They're exposed to more people versus like if I come in there. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
They're exposed to so many people.
but
That's the only thing I can think of.
the other contradiction was like, protest, that's okay. Protest can be like thousands in the streets, like gathered all together, right? That's okay. But if you're at your house, you cannot. You have to don't celebrate Thanksgiving, right?
You
Like,
can have more than 10 people in your house.
10 people in your house, but this protester has like thousands in the streets, right? Like, who to who how is this consistent,
It doesn't
right?
make sense.
Speaking of protesters, this was the year of like the Floyd, right? George Floyd dead, and the protester against police,
Man,
and people asking for defunding the police. And I want to say something because we have, I know personally a lot of police officers that train jiu-jitsu, and they are the most amazing people, right? Like, it's so unfair for people to put everybody in the same basket, or for the action of this one guy, right? Of course, this is a horrible thing that happened, that this guy did, and he deserved to go to jail. But definitely, it's not. I've been training with. I did the GST courses with Henner, so familiar with the police officers. They are just like great, awesome people who try to do their job. They have their families, and it's a very high stress job too, man. And for people to, I don't get the whole the found and the whole hate that they're getting. So just that's kind of my 2 cents about this issue.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I mean,
Christian?
like anything, you always a person's character. You judge a person by their character and their actions, and not by the group they've chosen to hang around with or the color of their skin. You judge them, or you want to associate with them based on their character and their behavior and their level of respect. But like to round everybody up, no matter if it's race or if it's an organization, to round everybody up and say they're all the same and they're all bad, it's not good at all in any way, whether it be the police or whether it be people of a different skin color or different religion. You never round up the masses and blanket judge them based off of one person's actions, you know.
Nice. You guys, we've been talking for more than an hour, an hour and a half almost. Let's wrap it up. Let's close with what do you expect for 2021? What is your mindset coming in? And maybe a message to the students of Jiu-Jitsu or the people who has not been training Jiu-Jitsu who wants to start.
Go ahead, Christian.
I don't know what to think of the vaccine, bro. I think it's still like so few people only have test the vaccine, right? And they still doing tests. So the vaccine is supposed to come out the January 2nd,
The vaccine?
right?
No, they are already vaccinating people.
They're already vaccinated.
Yes.
But no, I was thinking for public. They're doing tests, right?
They're doing the test. No, they're vaccinating people already.
Already? I don't know.
Yeah, the test already happened. They approved. They say the vaccine is 95% effective. So, but you have your reservations towards the vaccine. What do you think?
I don't. Yes, I don't know what to think of that.
Right, but in general, 2021, what's your expectations?
Um, I'm thinking, but hopefully do more competitions. You know, get more into teaching more. Hopefully, we were talking at the beginning of 2020, like expand the school, maybe find like you were talking about open a new location, make the school bigger, right? So I'm there. I want to tell you that I'm there, to help you in whatever you need, right? So hopefully one day maybe open the second school, the basics too. That's the idea. Yeah,
Yes.
because now you have three brown belts, and mm, in the near future, Jason will be black belt, will be teaching. So man, the basics it will expand, the franchise. So it will be um, more students, more locations. So hopefully everything goes well, right?
100%.
It,
So,
I
okay.
remember when, sorry, remember when was it back in 2008? You were coming from a tournament. I was making fun of you because you had your in the back of your car and some metal, and I was making fun of what did you do some karate or something. And now look at like I never thought about like start doing the same thing. Now I have this addiction too, and I want to spread the same thing. And it needs to make you feel good. So I want to make sure the kids learn how to defend themselves. You can tell the changes, the impact the jiu-jitsu make in someone's life. So I want to spread the word of jiu-jitsu to share the love.
Cool, bro.
Jay.
Yes, 2021, high expectations. I mean, we've all been through so much together and we've learned so much from 2020. I find it very hard to believe that 2021 can be as traumatic or as unexpected as 2020 was. So the positive thing is that we have adapted and we have been through so much trauma that we're able to survive anything that 2021 can throw at us, whether it be quarantines, viruses, closing of a small business, or having to adapt our house affairs, having to change our budget because we're not getting any money in. Not me personally, but as a civilization, us as a people. And then as you narrow down the scope to us as a school and as a community, again, just adapt. Now that we've explored how difficult this may be for us, I think moving forward, our instruction and the teaching and the things that we put out and the product that we put out can only be 100% better.
Awesome, hermano. Well, thank you guys for being here and doing this. I wanted to do this fun podcast about the 2020 review, and
We
of
should
course,
we should
yes,
do another podcast.
yes, let's keep doing this, right? If you guys like it, if the people likes it, then we'll do more. And yeah, that was other thing for this year that I was like thinking, how can I stay connected to people, right? And then we start doing the Zoom, the Zoom, the Facebook, and I had the idea to doing this more of these podcasts. Remember, I interviewed Christian by himself, and then Jay. I would never have done that if it weren't because my necessity or my willingness to keep connecting with people, right? And that's one great thing that came out of the pressure of or the challenges that 2020 was. When there is challenges, like you figure things out, you are under the pressure to overcome, and then it's amazing how we can get some positive from all this chaos. And like Jay said, I'm super positive. Always try to be positive about 2020. If we survive, about 2021, if we survive 2020, um, and we learn the lessons, we are just stronger for what comes next. And something might come later on, and then we'll deal with that. But definitely, this being a big test of mentally, um, and then as a business owner too, and happily, we still in the fight, right? And that's what jujitsu it's all about. Stay there, resist the guy on the mount or on the side mount with the pressure and the attacks on your neck, and you are just there hanging in there, surviving and being patient, just waiting for the opportunity for when you escape and then you get on top. I think 2021 is gonna be the year when we finally get out of this. It looks like by March they're saying April, even summer, the numbers are gonna come down because of the vaccine. Hopefully, I try to stay positive and think that everything is gonna be coming back to normal, and then just I cannot wait to keep giving my best and just to tackle 2021 with the best and reach all our goals that maybe were postponed, like Christian was saying, um, making the business grow and go to a bigger location, right? And you know, it's all good. And 2021, I think, is gonna be amazing. If you guys are watching this and you don't train jujitsu, let me tell you, it's because of jujitsu that I feel like you develop the survival skills, not just on the mats, but out out of the mats, off the mats, mentally. You can deal with stress like this better because you're always under stress in jiu-jitsu, right? Physically, jiu-jitsu guys are always in good health because it's almost like you are forced to
We
give
always
your best on the mats.
like trying to check yourself.
They're trying to choke you, so you cannot eat bad because you're gonna be overweight and you're gonna be slow and you're gonna get choked out. So you naturally wanna just eat healthy and stay on the best top shape as you can, so you can be on the mats and be okay,
Like
right? At least
He
exactly.
say he did 100 minutes cardio
Yes.
today.
And that's
Yeah.
what jiu-jitsu is gonna push you, because sometimes you go to the gym and it's boring, but jiu-jitsu is challenging and it's fun and it's the camaraderie, and then there's so many benefits that you get from jiu-jitsu. I myself, before jiu-jitsu, um, was shy and not confident, fearful, and out of shape, right? And jiu-jitsu has given me so much, and I think you guys start 2021. Come to jiu-jitsu if you live near Leesburg area. Come to the basics. We take you from zero. No experience needed. No need to be in shape. A lot of people think like, oh, I'm not in shape for jiu-jitsu. You don't need to be in shape. We get you in shape by you being on the mats, right? And the side effects of jiu-jitsu, like not just coming and learning techniques, but what comes with it, just being surrounded by good people, positive, the life lessons is just
The
amazing.
energy.
The energy and the everybody helping each other is gonna make you a better person. And if anything, this 2020 has shown us is that the people whose um, bad health is not exercising, they are more vulnerable, and you don't want to be vulnerable. You want to be ready and prepare yourself to deal with any scenario, and I think jiu-jitsu is going to help.
I agree.
Noel saying thing here, good things happened this year too. Yes. Oh, I think Noel, I know what you're talking about. In a personal level, uh, I get married this year to Noel, and we moved together. And I'm always gonna remember 2020 as the year that I got married. You know, in the middle of the chaos, I chose to give love a chance and just start a new family and a new life together with Noel and the boys. And we're expecting a baby who's gonna be born in 2021, and just cannot be happier than that. So thank you, Noel.
I also have a 2020 baby.
Oh,
Your baby was born this year. Yes, your baby was born second.
I'm
No,
blessed.
third, Christian.
Third.
Third. Yes. Her name is.
I had a 2020 grandbaby.
What are the names, Christian? What's her name?
Grace. Juliet.
Grace. And this year, Jay was grandpa. What's her name, Jay? Your granddaughter?
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. That's a nice name. Bro, remember Jay saying I'm a grandpa now? We were telling students like, what? How can you be a grandpa? They thought they were joking. But Jay's a grandpa, man. That's awesome. That's great. Good things happen this year too, man. And then we have to look at the positive.
Tell your mom happy birthday, Mr. Murphy.
Yes,
Oh
my
yeah,
mom's birthday
sure.
today. I'm gonna call her later on and chat, but she's in Peru. And you guys, we'll keep talking later, more things. If you guys like this video, like the video, share it. If you are in YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be putting more content. 2021, we're gonna put more videos, 100%. Any final words, you guys?
Sounds good. Have a happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. And in the school, we're gonna take a winter break. We start classes January 2nd, 2021. Let's go get it. Thank you, everybody.
Let's do it.
Merry Christmas.
See you guys.